Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, a little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. It's a Thursday, and usually on Thursdays, you do not see me do AMAs. Generally speaking, I will do an AMA on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. If I'm crazy busy, I may go to Sunday, but I try to do at least one per week whenever possible. If you guys like the AMAs, ask me any questions. I'm much more open to any type of question and also open to non-members. When I focus heavily on members and super chats. I'm much more open for other people when it comes to the AMA. So I'm happy to have them every once in a while, of course. But on top of that, you may notice I'm wearing a Larry Sharpe shirt again. I haven't worn one for a while. It's been a bit since I've worn a Larry Sharpe shirt. But why? Why in the world? Why do you think I would wear a Larry Sharpe show? Well, because this weekend, which is the reason why I am heading. Hold on, let me see if I can get out of this real fast. The reason why I am heading to the reason I'm doing it this Thursday is because, hold on, let me see if I can get it right here. I don't want to mess this up. I do sometimes mess this up. Hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. It's because I will be traveling this weekend. Yes, I will be. Ta-da! I will be upstate New York. I will be this Friday, tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. at the Creekside American Restaurant, one in Catskill, New York. Saturday, 3 stops, Sherburne Diner in Sherburne, New York. I'll be at El Rancho in Watkins Glen at 1, and at 5 p.m. the Copper Keg in Cuba, New York. And on Sunday, Chef Stanley's at 10 a.m. in Appalachian, and of course, Deluxe Diner in Middleton at 3 p.m. So if you want to, please feel free to come see me if you can. If you know someone who's in those areas, please have them come out. Again, no fee to come. If you want to come, please come. I ask that you buy something from a local person. To be forward, you don't have to. If you're in that much of a spot where you can't buy anything, it's okay. They don't throw you out. You can come and sit with us and not buy anything. But I would like you to buy something. If you're in a bad spot, buy a soda, buy a cup of coffee, something to help out the local guy or gal who owns the place. If you're in a good spot, buy a meal. If you're in a real good spot, bring a friend and buy their meal too, right? Wherever you are financially, if you can afford to, have a cup of coffee, that's wonderful. If you can afford to give yourself a meal, if you can afford to help somebody else out, bring somebody else and buy their meal. Do what you think is appropriate for your cash, but please come if you can. This is why I'm doing an AMA tonight, because I won't have a show these nights. Now, will I be streaming from those spots? Maybe. It depends upon if sometimes they give me a room, sometimes they don't, depends upon the spot. Sometimes other people are there and they don't want to hear me talk. I don't want to bother people, but I do want to, help the people who are there. So sometimes I'll stream, sometimes I won't. I'll always have a picture, usually. Not always, but usually I have a picture. So my daughter will be there too. So if you want to visit my daughter, you can check her out also when you're there if you want. So that's why tonight I am doing, the AMA tonight. So yes. So what did I want to start this on? I wanted to start this on something that I thought was kind of interesting, and that is the concept of bad boys. Why did I bring this up? Because I saw several things in these last couple of days, and that is looking at the people who years ago we'd have been like, something's totally wrong, something is terrible and bad, and now we're like, well, whatever, maybe it's okay. And I brought up 3 examples. There are more, but I brought 3 that are kind of in the news now, and that I've seen people just go nuts over. One of them is Elon Musk. Elon Musk, obviously, just doing whatever he wants in the government. Today, if you noticed, they did showed a video of Donald Trump basically forcing everyone in the cabinet to clap for him. Yay, yay, like doing that, right? Which is, again, fine, but he's basically unaccountable. And we as a country are like, okay, I guess that's okay. Like we haven't, don't get me wrong, people who are more left-leaning on the Democrats are really upset, right? Really upset. But that's it. The others are just like, no. And even some of the heavy hitters aren't saying anything. And not about Elon. A lot of them aren't. Some of the press people are, but I don't see a bunch of Democrats doing it. They're not. They're like, we gotta let it go. Why? Shouldn't we be upset? Shouldn't we be bothered? Right? All that stuff. Let me go one step further. Look at Luigi Mangione. I mean, ostensibly, maybe he didn't, but ostensibly, he killed a guy, murdered a dude. I mean, again, maybe not. I want to be clear. He is not convicted yet. It looks really bad, but maybe I'm wrong. And I'm okay with thinking that the government might have lied and made up some massive conspiracy. I'm okay with that. So maybe it's true, but It does not look that way at all. It looks like he really did it. That's what it looks like. And regardless if he did or not, let's say he didn't do it. Doesn't matter. The people who love him, they think he did. Like they think he did do it, right? So even if he didn't, they think he did. And they're like, I don't know if you saw, when it came to Elon Musk, and I'll go back to Luigi, when it came to Elon Musk, I mean, this guy, do whatever you want. It's okay. Throwing people out, all fine. When it comes to Luigi, they had to make a website to tell people how to send him stuff because so many people are sending him stuff. And the stuff they're sending him isn't like just, here's some candy. No, it's like, here's my underwear. Here's pictures of me in poses that you might enjoy in prison. It's that kind of thing. They have to let people know, by the way, when you send these photos to them, they say that on the website. Know that the guards look at the photos before you send it. So understand what you're sending isn't just Luigi isn't the only one seeing it, right? Understand that. They have to say that. I'm going to go back again. This guy allegedly kills people. And we're like, okay, all good. Really? Not just that. I got to go even further. Now we look at someone like Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, massively popular, more popular than Luigi, arguably more popular than Elon, right? Literally in jail, accused of terrible things. Again, not convicted. So is it possible it's not true? It's possible. He denies it. Again, but my point is, clearly, a lot of people believe that Andrew Tate did the bad things, whether he did or not. Again, not convicted, don't know if he did, accused of terrible things. People know it and don't care. There should be, in theory, no place in American culture, or a small place, not no, but there should not be a large place for an Andrew Tate type person in American culture. But there is. You be mad about it, call them names all you want, doesn't matter. There is a place for a guy. He just came with his brother today to America, and people are loving it. Now, there are people saying he's bad, but here's the issue. It doesn't matter. And that's the point I want to bring up. You can literally call Luigi Mangione a murderer if you want to. People still love him. You can call Andrew Tate every name in the world, insult him. And you see some people saying, oh, he's a terrible guy. He's still making millions. He's still popular. He'll still be on whatever, some podcast or whatever. People still give money. They'll still do it. Elon Musk still making tons of money, billions, still. And I guess my question is, why? Has something changed or no? Is it that America is so starved of masculinity, right? Is this an issue? That we'll take anybody who will just act masculine, assertive, no matter how bad they are, no matter what they've done, we don't care. We're happy to take an Andrew Tate. We're happy to take that person. We don't care. Is that it? Or the reverse? Is it that we just hate the system so much? That the system is so horrible and terrible and has been broken for so long that we don't care. That we just, hey, if you'll ostensibly fight the system, then we're on board, right? I mean, I'm not sure if Elon's really fighting the system, but ostensibly he is, right? Luigi is clearly trying to, at least, right? Tate always says it's the Matrix is fighting him, whatever. He plays that game. So is that it? Is it some combination or something different? And it's not just the idea of the culture liking them. Individual women like these men too. And no, it's not the women. This is men. This is not women. We don't like bad girls. That's not really a thing, right? In that same regard, it's different, not the same. So is it that we like the bad boys and the women like them too? Women throw themselves at Andrew Tate and they know his, again, alleged charges. They know. Women throw themselves at Luigi and they saw the videotape. Throw themselves at him. Right? Think about that. There's tons of regular guys out there who don't allegedly murder people, who don't allegedly traffic people, right? Tons of them, like tens of millions of them, maybe even hundreds of millions. I would hope, probably billions, actually. There's a whole lot of men who are not charged with any of these types of crimes, And women are jumping all up and down for these men. We see it even in the dating apps, going after bad boy men constantly. We see it all the time. Are we that starved of masculinity? Or is it just anyone who fights the system is a bad boy and we want them? And then we wonder why so many young men are doing one of two things: checking out or going to people like Andrew Tate and more. Interesting. I just thought about it today because of all the stuff that was happening, and it all kind of came together. And of course, you add on top of that bad boy Trump, impeached twice, 34-time felon, president of the United States. Are we just embracing bad boys? Are we like, this is like the new bad boy culture? So be a bad boy and you're good. We're about to, New York City might be bringing Cuomo back. Cuomo was, again, King Cuomo II, remember? One of his titles, grabber of butts. That was him. Killer of the elderly. Yeah, we might be bringing him back. We don't care. Bad boy, bring them all back. Maybe I'm crazy. Let me grab a couple of these super chats if I could. Lunatic is in the house. He says, for 199, this is a perfect title for a live face-to-face. I'm not sure why. You're saying we want to live I mean, I agree with you. I think we should spend more time, which is why I go out, right? If you look at most people who have any type of internet following at all, and obviously mine isn't as large as some of the larger guys who have millions of people. I don't have that. But they don't go out to meet people. It's very rare. I go out and meet people. I think you're right. Many people who are watching now, who are listening now, have met me, have shaken my hand, sat with me, and had breakfast with me or something. Many have. And I'm going out this weekend. So I'm with you. I think face-to-face is nice because you also get to know somebody better, right? When you actually break bread. That's why breaking the bread really matters, right? So it goes on to say, I'm a bad man and you won't join the dark side. I didn't say that, Lunatic. I said I won't say the things you say on YouTube because I don't want to be canceled from YouTube. There's a difference. If you notice often, Lunatic, I don't say you're wrong. You may be reading me incorrectly. I say I don't want to say the words because if you're on YouTube, you're treated like a child, and you have to talk baby talk. If you don't talk baby talk, they get mad at you and they cancel you. That's how that works. Now, I wish there was some other huge place. I'm trying to go on Rumble. You guys see I'm on Rumble. I'm on the other places. You see it. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Rumble or X, whatever, Facebook. I tell you all the time about it. Go there, check it out. But most people see me here. This is the most popular place to see. You don't have to have an account or that kind of, like if you have Facebook, you have to have a Facebook account, except the X account. A lot of people don't have it. So maybe one day Rumble will be as big as YouTube. Maybe. If it does, maybe you and I can have more adult conversations. How about that? Lunatic goes on. Lunatic, you got a lot to say tonight. Okay. Gals on the low are good tools in politics. Wink. Gals on the low are good tools in politics. Wink. I'm not sure what they mean. Are you saying that women can be used in politics? Is that what you mean by good tools in politics? I'm not sure where you're going with it. I'll check some of your other stuff as I go through. I'm not sure where you're going with that one. I think without question, there are some very savvy women politicians. But I'm not sure where you're going with that. Liz Libertarian goes on for $10. Thank you. Elon Musk's welfare queen. True. Andrew Tate is a libertarian, self-admitted. Oh, I don't want to hear that. Luigi, justifiable. I'm at Hami side at best. Yeah, at best, but I think that, yeah. Tate makes millions off labels, titles, categories. Correct. We must do better at self-sacrifice. This is the point, right? People will get mad when I talk about Andrew Tate and they'll just slam him horribly. I know, I get all the time. Like, wow, you just got to first off, insulting him doesn't work. In fact, he feeds off it. So insult him is actually silly. It's not like you're doing anything. It's like it matters. It's just more virtue signaling. So no, I don't spend my time insulting Andrew Tate. I don't. And Andrew Tate is a symptom. He's a symptom of a broken system, of broken young men. He is a symptom, just like Trump's a symptom. These are symptoms, right? You go back 20 years, there's no space for either of them in this country. No space. You can be the same guy, same Trump, same Tate. No space for him. Space now. So I agree. And look, the issue is, and I know you don't like labels, Lunatic. You bring it up often. I know you don't. But there's a thing. If you remember, there was a book years ago by Malcolm Gladwell called Blink. And the concept behind the book, there's lots of things in it, but one of the major concepts behind the book was the idea that we as humans, we want to make snap judgments, and they're usually correct, that because we usually get enough experience and we tend to make it, right, as a general rule. So with that in mind, we like labels and titles and categories. As humans, we like it because it makes it easier. This is the reason why so many people go to dismissing people, because once I make you an ist or a phobe, I can now ignore you. You're out of my world. So, lunatic, oh, you're an ist or a phobe. I can now ignore you. See, RFK Jr., you're crazy. I can now ignore you. It makes my life easier. And again, I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not even saying it's a smart move for us to have these labels. I'm just saying humans like them. It just makes things easier. If I title you an ist or a phobe, done. Ryan says, Larry, I'm a bad boy and people ignore me. JK, maybe you're not bad enough. Don't do something crazy, Ryan, but maybe you're not bad enough. Maybe not bad enough. I learned that lesson early in life. And it's going to sound horrible, but I'm just going to tell you the truth. Guys, you bring it up, so I bring it up. When I was a youngin', in my teens and such, I was generally a really nice guy. Chicks didn't like me very much. I only dated girls older than me. I dated girls very much older than me. I was like 16, 17, 18. I would date girls in their 20s. Because no girl my age wanted to date me. They just didn't. They didn't want to date me. I was a nice guy. They didn't care. Then I joined the Marine Corps. Then I came back from the Marine Corps. I was a tough guy then. All the girls loved me then. Wore my uniform. Oh, they loved me then. Then I went away and came back. Had my tat. Oh, girlies loved me. This 80s, right? So, I mean, in the 80s, having a tattoo meant something. Now it's nothing, right? But then it actually meant this 40 years ago. So yeah, back then it meant something. And it was like, oh, tough guy. So they loved me then. And then I was a tough guy. I would be a tough guy. I'd be a jerk. I'd be a bad boy. And the girlies loved me. They hated me when they didn't hate me. That's not true. I'm exaggerating. They just didn't want to be with me when I was a teenager. They just were like, whatever. Whatevs. I mean, that's a nice guy, but I was friend zoned all the time in high school. I was friend zoned constantly in high school. So I had to date older women. And the reason older women wanted to date me was because I was smart and I could talk to them and give them advice. Even when I was a teenager, I was doing this stuff, right? And I was also an artist. I was very artsy. I actually majored in art in high school. It's true story. I'll tell you this interesting story. My daughter actually is an artist now. I stopped doing any art once I joined the Marine Corps. That was over. But as a youngster, I was very artistic. I used to draw comic books. I used to paint, all kinds of stuff. I actually sold 2 of my paintings when I was 17 years old. So yes, 17 years old, I sold 2 paintings. So the older ones were interested in me. They liked me. Teenagers did not care about me at all. Being a bad boy was something different. So yes. I'm looking over at Rumble and Joel says, today a person with no body modifications is rare. Yes, it's true. Back in the 80s, you were like a tough guy if you got a tattoo. Now, if you don't have a tattoo, you're like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? So I'm looking over at Instagram. Seawolf says, love your message, Larry. I got to jump onto my grad school class. Wish I could join you at one of your events. Could be great work. Thank you, my friend. I hope you are able to see me at one of them. That would be amazing. All righty. Wow, you guys keep throwing this on. Okay, let me keep going. Lunatic says, I'm an ick, a lunatic. Ooh, that's right. You are an ick. Yes. But remember, if you're an ick, the women get mad because he has an ick. There we go. Matt, thank you for the $5. Am I wrong for being mad at people only worrying and funding boomers, retirement, and Medicare, funding knowing damn well I won't have any SS when I retire? No, it bothers me too. It bothers me too. And I'm close to retirement. I'm closer to it. The odds are I'm getting something. But if you're like 20, 30, I don't know what you're getting. We're already in trouble. Like it's already a problem. At one point, if we don't find that, which is what bothers me so much is I've been talking about fixing this for almost a decade now. Almost a decade. And the more we go, the harder it gets to fix. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid are not sustainable. At one point, they will fail, whether that's this year or 30 years from now. We can't keep spending the money. The debt will eventually catch up. I don't know when that's going to be. If we keep spending like we keep spending, it's going to be soon. If we cut back, if maybe Elon Musk does what he says, I mean, who knows? But if he does, maybe it'll be longer. But it is unsustainable. At one point, it does collapse. We have to find an answer before it collapses. And what have I been saying forever? Follow the models that actually work. Norway, Singapore. I've been saying this since 2017. I've been saying this. What's that? 8 years now? 8 years I've been saying this. New York State has to do this. America has to do this. A sovereign fund it's how the Saudis do it. You have to have a sovereign fund. If you don't have a sovereign fund, you can't do it. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It is insolvable. Insolvent. Whatever. It won't work. Insolvent. Thank you. That's what that word's going. Insolvent. It will be insolvent. Of course it will. I agree with you. Matt goes on to say, thank you for $2. Listen to how Bakesley will go bankrupt earlier. Yes. Yes. It is unsustainable, Matt. Eventually. I don't know when it will be. Right? I'm older. Odds are I'm getting something for a while. You're 20-something? You got 40 years before you get something? The French are already having fights over, like, we can't afford this. We got to move the retirement age up. The Greeks had the same problem. You have to move the retirement age up. The Japanese, oh my God, Japanese are in permanent stagnation. Permanent stagnation. America will have to go into permanent stagnation. Yes. And again, I don't want to take it away. That's my point. If you notice, I want to wean people off of it and change it and shift it to where other forms that can be solvent can actually work. So anyway, all right, guys, I appreciate all of that. I do want to walk down some more of these, comments, a lot of comments. All right, Vivek says, Larry, can you talk about the gold card, how immigration can be reformed, and what you think of Vivek Ramaswamy? Wow, that's a lot. Let me do a couple of these. Number one, if we don't change our immigration policies, I'm not against the gold card. I think the number is a little bit low to be forward. I think we should raise them. I think 5 million is probably not high enough. You're basically giving out citizenship. Now, the problem is, can anybody just buy a gold card? Can someone lease a gold card? Again, it goes right back to the same thing, right, that I keep talking about. If you're going to do this, the problem is only the wealthy benefit, right? Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing that wealthy benefit, but why do only the wealthy benefit? All right, I don't have $10 million to give out. Vivek, I don't know if you do. I hope you do. But do we have $10 million or whatever the number is to just give out? Then I go, well, Larry, this is going to help because if the companies paid $10 million to get the workers here and make them citizens, right, and have to give them the citizenship, then this will pay off our debt. In theory, I get it. I do. Theoretically, I understand theory completely. I'm not necessarily against the concept of it. The problem is, how does it actually get used? And what about the regular people? Do I want wealthy people to come to America? Of course I do. Yes. But I also want workers and regular people too. I would rather we have a simpler system. Now, if you want to say you can buy your way to a faster way of becoming a citizen, I don't mind that at all. I don't. And you might go, Larry, no, I don't mind that at all. It would give incentive for people to work harder, right? Whatever. So incentive to speed the process, that's fine. But I would rather us have a much simpler system. You just come to one of my Ellis Islands I've been talking about for years. Come to my Ellis Island. As long as you don't have a problem, you get an orange card, which gives you 2 years of working. Now, if you want to add on top of that, hey, if you're wealthy and you want to write a check to U.S. government for $10 million, well, now you don't get an orange card, you get a gold card, and instead of whatever, 2 years, you get 5 years. Or instead of citizenship is 20 years, yours is 10 years, or whatever. I don't care. I'm happy with that. It's fine. I just want to make it all simpler. This being a Band-Aid is not an effective Band-Aid. It just isn't. It's just it's a way of companies getting around H-1B visas, H-1B visas, a way of wealthy people coming over here. It's a way of oligarchs, but again, oligarchs come over anyway, right? That's the whole point. The argument against it is rich people come in here and buy up all our stuff. They're already buying up all our stuff. I've been telling you about how New York City, this is a thing that happens in New York City. It happens in other cities also. Florida's big. I'm sorry, Miami's big for this too. But it's a bunch of cities where it happens. You go into one of these massive high rises in Manhattan. Each apartment's minimum $10 million for an apartment, right? Some of them are $20 million, $30 million. Minimum is 10, and they're empty. Okay, why would you be empty? Why in the world would you be empty? Here's why. You have a Russian oligarch. You have a Chinese oligarch. You have someone like that. Even certain other countries, you might have oligarchs, and those look like in Indonesia, oligarchs like that. They will come over to America and they will buy 3 apartments. Three, each one, say $15 million each. So they take $45 million. Saudis will do it, right? And they'll buy 3 apartments. And they don't need to furnish them, but they might. Who cares? And then they hire, and I know because I've worked for these people, they hire management companies. The management companies, they make sure the rent is paid. If there is any rent, was a rent, they bought it. If there's any common charges are paid, taxes are paid, stuff's cleaned up. They literally take care of the apartments for them, 3 of them. Why 3? One of them is for their kid or kids. They send their kid to college here, or kids to college here, so they can be here and be in that, and they stay in that place. If their kid goes to college here, that's awesome. If their kid gets married here and has a kid here, anchor baby. If they come here and have a baby, anchor baby. And that is literally, in the case of China, that's an actual industry. Having Chinese wealthy people come to America to have their babies here. Those people have their babies while living in those apartments. But they don't want to live here. They come here, stay for a couple of months, have their baby, and go back to China. But their baby now is a citizen. So they go back to China. So if anything goes wrong, they come back to America because their baby's a citizen. Not just that. If their baby gets older and wants to go to college, come back to America, go to college. They're a citizen. And there's also an apartment for them. But why 3? Because what happens if one of the oligarchs is all of a sudden bad, right? So she doesn't like you anymore. Putin doesn't like you anymore, whatever. Well, you flee to America. You can because your kid's going to college here, or your kid's an American citizen. You flee here. You go to apartment 1, your kid goes to apartment 2, you sell apartment 3, and there's your cash. So now you got $10 million, $50 million in cash, right? Plus whatever assets you can get out of your country, whatever you can. And the second way to get assets out of the country, people don't know this, is through art. Are you going, what? Yes, it's through art. So what will happen? You can buy art online, and art online is still exploding. Why? Why do people love art so much? It's a way of money laundering. How? All right. So I live in Greece, and I'm not a Russian oligarch. I live in Italy. I'm wealthy, but I'm not an oligarch, but I'm pretty wealthy. So I can't afford to buy 4 or 5 apartments at $10, $50 million a piece. I can't afford that. But I got to get like a couple $1 million out of Greece or out of Italy or out of Spain. And I can't do that legally. What do? I buy art online. So I buy art online. I buy some piece of art that's worth whatever, $1 million, whatever it is. I buy it. And now I own it. Do I ship it to Greece or Italy? No, I live in America. I bought it from an American gallery. If you guys have been in New York City and you've traveled around New York City and you see some of the art galleries, you say, there's nobody in this art gallery. How the hell are they paying us rent? How are they staying here? Well, because half of the artwork is sitting in the basement or wherever, and the oligarchs in Italy and Greece are paying them rent to keep the thing. So it's worth whatever, $5 million, whatever the artwork's worth. They keep it in the basement or wherever they keep it. They keep it right, great in a vault and the whole deal. They keep it there, right? And then they pay this guy whatever, $500 a month or whatever it is to hold it. Yeah, you mean $500 a month to hold it? Yeah, $1,000 a month, whatever. So you're paying $12,000. You're paying $12,000 to keep $10 million of US dollars and got out of the country. You have to pay a whole lot more, or you couldn't do it. And you buy another piece of artwork every once in a while, and they just, okay, you $1,000, now it's $1,200. Well, if someone's paying me $1,000 a month, and I got 100 pieces in my vault in the basement, that's $100,000 a month I'm getting in rent. I don't care if I sell anything. I'm getting $100,000 a month. I'm paying my people. I'm paying my rent. I'm good. Why would I do that? Because then here comes Mr. Greek or Mr. Italian guy. He comes to America now, and he sells it here. What's he get for it? US dollars. He just laundered his money. That happens all the time. So they'll buy a bunch of art, and they'll buy a bunch of apartment buildings. Apartments in the building, and they'll come here and they'll launder their money. Easy way. That's one of the reasons why they're worried about the gold. I went long. I'm sorry, guys, but you bring this stuff up. I'm always telling you how stuff works, and a lot of you have no idea how this works. This is how it works. That's why you see an apartment building in Manhattan that has whatever 500 apartments, whatever it has, 200 apartments, and like half are empty because oligarchs bought it. That's why you see, an art gallery. Nobody's in it. You ever see somebody walk in this art gallery in 4 days? How do you pay their rent in Manhattan? Because they got a basement, and they got a basement vault filled with a bunch of oligarchs' artwork. Just paying rent on it to hold on to it. That's it. So again, what happens? It now becomes an art industrial complex. Oh, but why is the government mad? Because they're not part of it. That's the issue. They're not part of it. There we go. So gold card makes the government part of it. Gold card makes government part of the industrial complex because now the money just goes directly to the government. They get a cut of this. Right now, the government doesn't get a cut. The thing is that most people don't know, Trump knows this because half his friends are doing it. I mean, maybe more. They're doing it. He works with these guys who are doing this stuff. So he knows this is how it works. So he's like, well, wait a minute. Why all these guys getting cash? I'm not. I'll make this gold card thing and I can get my cut. I know you might think that's crazy. No. He just wants his cut. I get it. Always follow the money, right? I know. Lunatic back, thank you for the $2. Medicare is a private assets accumulation scam. Medicare is a private asset accumulation scam. You're saying that because people are paying into it? Medicare is in debt. I'm not sure where you're going with that one. Medicare is in debt and will probably always be in debt. I can't imagine it not being in debt. I'm not sure I get that one. So Rick says Larry Sharpe for punishment. Yes, that is true. Yes, it's true. Forrest Woman says, Larry's still fighting the fight. Persistence is all that matters. I hope you are correct because one thing I am is persistent. I am tenacious. I do keep coming. I do keep fighting. I do keep going. This is my 7th full Sharpe. Yes, I've crossed New York State 6 full times. Every county, all 62. I'm on my 7th one. I probably do 7 and 8 this year. So I will do 8 this year. If I go one more, 9 next year. I've done it 9 times in 9 years. I know. It's crazy. So yeah. Phil says, Elon Musk, 4 baby mamas, 12. I thought he had 13 kids. Oh, is a new one is not sure if it's his or not? Maybe. Yeah. And Phil, to your point, people don't seem to care. I mean, some do, but generally like, whatever. I mean, I don't care. As long as you can afford your kids and afford your baby mamas and you do what you got, I don't care. Have as many kids as you want to have. I don't care. Right. And to be forward, half of these women, they know what they were getting themselves into. Like they knew. I don't mean to be mean and flippant, but they knew. Right. You date Elon Musk. He ain't coming home every day, 5 o'clock, have dinner with you. You know that. I mean, you know that, right? You're aware of that if you marry this guy. This guy is a workaholic, probably on a spectrum. The guy is going to see you when he sees you. That's how it's going to work. If you don't like that, I get it, but then why are you marrying him? I mean, that's who you're marrying, right? You should, and they know that too. They're not fools. The women who married him aren't stupid. All not married. One married, I think. And the other 2 who are with him. They knew what they were getting themselves into. I don't mean to be cruel, but just true. So, Massman Hour says, planes falling from the sky is getting particularly normalized. Yes, it is. It is kind of weird. So, yes. All right. I'm looking. Oh, Mike is here. Mike says, hey, just finished and now with you. Thank you, Mike. I'm glad you're here. I am glad you're here. Excellent. So, all righty. Rick, thank you for being a member. Larry Quixote charging at the impenetrable anti-democracy, anti-choice New York machine. Someone's got to, my friend. Someone's got to. There's just somebody's got to. Rick goes on to say, Orange Man Bad Boy. Ooh. So not Orange Man Bad, Orange Man Bad Boy. That's not bad. That's not bad. I like that. Yes. That's pretty good. So, all righty. Let's see here. Fickle's going to say, yeah, it really seems like he's somewhat neglected his kids, but that's not uncommon for high-power CEOs, the cats in the cradle. That's an assumption. And look, I'm not trying to be mean at all. But if you're baby mama number 4 or whatever, I'm sure you don't feel good about that. I'm sure you're upset about that. I'm sure you want to say something and tell the world. That last woman, St. Clair, she's really posting on X, talk about your children. I don't believe that for a second. Not for a second. Elon Musk, while he may not care about her, I don't know if he does. He seems to care about his kids in general, and he has enough people. There's no doubt, none. I will bet any of you any amount of money. There is someone in Elon Musk's family office. And again, I told you about family offices, right? Family offices are for people who have so much money, like Elon Musk, that they physically can't handle it all. It's no way. So they hire people to deal with their money. Elon Musk, I'm sure, has at least one massive family office, if not more than one. Because why would we have more than one? One might be for, say, investments. He might have a separate family office for nonprofits. That actually happens too. Separate family offices for two separate issues. He may have a family office for his family, which means he hires people to literally interact with his baby mamas. I'm not joking. So it's probably a lawyer, or maybe it could be, in theory, a social worker. Maybe he would literally put him on payroll, part of the family office. You interact with my baby mamas. I don't want to interact with them. Make sure the baby got the diapers or whatever is the thing they care about, right? Make sure the baby goes to whatever, some private school they want to send, whatever they're doing, right? Those types of things. Write the checks, make sure my payments go out to them, whatever. There is no way in the world that if that's his baby, the baby's neglected. Impossible. She's making it up. I don't trust her at all. That's not how these guys roll. He's got 13 kids. He's got a family office. There's a person assigned to her. She probably doesn't like that person. She's upset that it's a social worker or that it's a lawyer. That's why she goes, I'm talking to you. You're not going to talk to him. You one of his 4 baby mamas. He don't talk to you. He has people for that. I know that sounds horrible, but that's how these people roll. And you knew that. If you look at her story, I'm not making this up. If you do your homework, she purposefully trapped him. She knew exactly what she was doing. She talked about it to her friends in advance. She was trying to have his baby because she wanted to get that cash. And I'm not making that up. That's documented. You can see it yourself. I'm not mad at her. He fell for it, whatever. But I'm telling you, I am sure, Phil, he didn't neglect his kids. There is someone assigned to her. She doesn't like that someone's assigned her. She thought she could trap him and he would be doting over her. You baby mama number 4. He's Elon Musk. Sweetheart, talk to his lawyer. I don't mean to be mean. I'm being real. You thought you were going to get Elon Musk to come to your house for dinner. Stop. I'm just being real. That's the bad boy thing. Literally the bad boy thing. You want the bad boy, there's a price to pay for that. There's a price to pay to date and hang out with the bad boy. Look, if you want to pay it, pay the price. I'm not mad at you if you like the bad boy. You want to pay the price. You think it's okay and you're happy with get knocked up by Elon Musk, and you could be baby mama number 5, and you're okay with that. Good for you. Not mad at you for it. But just go in with your eyes open. Know what you're doing. That's how it works. That's all I'm saying. So Mike is still here in the house. He says, our society has disconnected consequences and excused bad behavior if popularity is attached. But you said something the other day. I forgot what it was, Mike. You said something about if someone's effective, then it's okay. Generally speaking, I feel if someone believes they're working for us, it's okay. But I think effectiveness also matters. If they're effective and working, I think it's not just popularity, man. Right? I think people aren't sure yet if what Trump is doing is working. It feels like it is because things are changing. But I don't think people, right? America's like, I'm sure. Here's the evidence that I feel in my life. I don't think that's happening yet. It might happen. I'm not saying it won't. For most Americans, that's not happening yet. But they feel like something's changing. They're excusing it. And I think that's a part too. Mastermind now, thank you for becoming a member. Andrew Taint. He tain't smart and he tain't masculine. I don't know if he's smart, to be fair. I don't know. I've never met him. I don't know him. I don't watch his stuff very, like every once in a while, I'll see his videos when someone else is talking about his videos, but I'm not an Andrew Tate fan, but he's absolutely masculine. That's incorrect. He's absolutely masculine. He absolutely is. He is masculine. He is a caricature almost of masculinity. He's a caricature of it. And when particularly young boys, fathers aren't around, they don't see positive masculinity, in the school system is utterly feminized. Masculinity is insulted and attacked and crapped on throughout all of our school system. If you think that's not true, you're living in a fantasy world. Our school system is utterly feminized. And they see even the caricature that he is. They're drawn to it. He's absolutely masculine, dude. I'm just telling you the truth. He is. He's masculine. I don't know if he's smart. He might be. He might not be. But you don't have to be. I don't mean to be mean either. Not required. It's nice if you're smart, but you can be very successful and not be that smart. It's fine. To the earlier point that Rick was talking about, tenacity. One thing Tate is tenacious. Whether you like him or not, this guy does not stop. He does not give up. He keeps fighting. He's tenacious. That's for sure. So is RFK Jr. So is Trump. So is Elon. These guys are all tenacious. So yeah, and I think that's part of it. I think we like that. I think we do like that. So yes. Matt says, I wish I could have breakfast with you, Larry, but I probably won't be in New York anytime soon. Well, I am considering, because people have been talking about it, I am considering doing maybe this fall, maybe this summer, I'm not sure, doing a U.S. tour. So I may pop up and do a U.S. tour. And if I do that, I'll let you guys know way in advance, like literally like weeks, months in advance. If I do it, I may do it. If I do it, it'll be a drive. Like I'll just leave New York and come back like a month later or something like that. I'm considering it. I haven't made a decision yet, so if I do, I'll let you know. Maybe we'll have breakfast together after all. So if you can get off the day, whatever, we'll do it. So yes, maybe we'll see. So all righty, let's see if I can go down here. Grace says, baby talk is kind of the antithesis of all that is USMC. Baby talk? I'm not sure. Was that for me? I'm not sure it was for me. I'm not sure if I get that one. Maybe that wasn't for me. I don't know. So that Liberty Lady says, here's Larry's Rumble to follow, his page. There we go. So if you guys want to see it, you can go over there if you want to hang out over on Rumble. By the way, guys, no matter what, if you're enjoying the show, then you should click the button that is known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Like, yes, it is free. And you know who loves it? It is that guy who controls the entire internet. His name is Mr. Rhythm. First name Al, middle name Gore. That guy controls the whole internet. So he loves it when you click that button. If you do it, if you press it, smash it, elbow smash it, whatever you do, caress it gently if you like. You don't have to be too masculine. You can just be regular. Caress it nicely. Do that. Whatever you do, he says, oh, wait a minute. People must like this thing. Therefore, I will show it to others. Please do so. Now, if you don't want him to show it to others, you still can. You can show it yourself. You can share it or repost it any way you want into a Facebook group, on X, whatever you like. If you have not followed me on Facebook, X, and Rumble, I keep saying this, but why do you hate the children? I don't know why you hate them. Worse, you know what? If you don't follow me on Facebook, X, and Rumble, not only do you hate the children, you hate the troops. Why do you hate the troops? I don't know why you do. They don't do nothing to you. Why would you do that? You're a bad person, basically. Do that. Please subscribe on YouTube. And when you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you click that all notifications. Doing that ensures that you get all of the notifications. You can also super chat me as you've seen. Please do so if you want to on YouTube. You can also rant me on Rumble. Also amazing. And you can become a member. Membership, $4.99 per month. The more members I get, the less work I have to do. And when I'm traveling, as you guys know, I don't have a salary. I don't have a regular job. I'm a consultant. So when I'm not working, I don't get paid. So if I'm taking 3 days off to travel, I'm not getting paid for that. I just lose money, which is fine. I've accepted it. As Rick said, Larry Sharpe for punishment. Correct. So yes. And when I'm spending time doing this, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not with the client. I'm not getting paid. So I do this. So the more membership I have, the less I have to work, the more I can do this. If that makes any sense. That's why I bug you for it. Rumble also $49 per month. You can click subscribe during the live. And something else, I can make more traveling. I can go out and meet more people. This happens. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. I hope it makes sense. But either way, click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. That helps no matter what. So yeah, no matter what, that helps. So yes, absolutely. So the Lunatic, thank you again for the $4.99. Rumble exclusive, the Lunatic Libertarian and Larry discussion. I'm down. All right. Let me see what I can do about that one. I was talking about doing a Rumble only show. Maybe I'll grab you and a couple of them, like rotate some people through, because a bunch of people I'm sure want to just like drop F-bombs left and right. Yeah. All right. Let me see if I can do about that one. Okay. Okay. All right. Grace says chicks dig Marines because they're the ultimate bad boys and the uniforms are the best in the military. That's true. One of the reasons why I joined the Marine Corps is I wanted to be a badass. That's true. Like I was like, I want to be a badass in the Marine Corps. It's true because I wasn't one. I was a kind of geeky teenager. So I know me be a geek. It's true. It's true. Yes. Missy says, love me a bad boy. Love my bad boy. Nice, Missy. I like that. Yes. Shelly says, are we actually speaking about bad boys or protective mates? Ooh, people think Luigi is protecting everyone with a sick loved one. Ooh, interesting. Shelly, that is a very interesting way of looking at it, right? It's a very interesting way. Are we looking at the wrong way? Are we looking at it as people are seeing the bad boys not as bad, but as protective? I would say even protective males, even. Interesting. It's an interesting way of looking at it. I think people could easily see that, particularly in the case of Luigi. I think people could in their own minds go, oh no, he's not really bad. He's protecting people. I think it's a good point. And I think people do want to be protected. I think we do. That's why we tend to love our cops and we tend to love our military because I think we want to be protected. We want to respect that. It's a very good way of looking at things, Shelly. Ross says, I love art too. I'm an art fan. Yes. Forrest says, marry rich. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Yes, 100%. Phil says, yeah, tattoos are a lot less tough when 90-pound women have full sleeves. Accurate. Yes, accurate. And I thought I was hardcore. I got mine in the Philippines. So I was like, I'm all tough. Got my tattoo in the Philippines. I'm just some dude now. So, yes. Matt, thank you for being a member. In mid-30s, and I was listening how the new budget proposal will actually increase the deficit still, and it makes me so effing mad that people only worry about funding all the baby boomers. Yeah, you're right. The funny thing is, so many people hate boomers. Like, a lot of people hate boomers. Like, they hate boomers and they hate millennials. Like, why those two? Like, those are the two people hate? Did they do something wrong? Like, Gen Xers are kind of ignored. Gen Z is almost kind of felt sorry for. And the greatest generation of the Osage generation, they're like revered as like the greatest people in the world. Everyone takes a dump on the boomers and the millennials. I don't know. If you're a boomer millennial, I'm sorry. I don't know why people are mad at you, but they are. So, yes. Yeah. Phil says, Larry, what do you think about a Social Security bailout, a lump sum for less than the total benefits? The problem with this is the concept is not a bad concept, but you then also have to have an answer. In other words, America's not going to accept, it's not going to accept, let's just end Social Security. That's not a thing America's going to accept. You might be okay with it, Phil. Others may be. America's not going to accept that. You're going to have to say, okay, here's a bailout, and here is the community, state level, something level answer to it. If you don't have an answer for it, America's never going to take it. Doesn't matter how we feel about it. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. We have to have an answer. And I think the answer has to be some form of market answer that is sustainable. And the pension system doesn't work. That's why there's no pensions in private funds. It doesn't work. But the only one that does work, and you see it literally has worked for decades now. In certain cases, maybe even over a century yet, maybe a century. I'm not even sure. Is sovereign funds. That's what works. The other things don't work. We have to create it, and we haven't. So, yes. Grace goes on to say, I'm shocked that Medicaid has not already crashed. I learned in nursing school that the only profit healthcare makes is off the private sector. Yeah, the problem is Medicare is supplemented by the states and the counties. That's why. There's a thing, particularly in New York State, called unfunded mandates. It's all over. But unfunded mandates means the state tells the county it must pay for X things, but will give it no money. It's like, Grace, I order you to rent a car every weekend. Yeah, you must rent it from Friday till Sunday. I order you to do so, Grace. And you go, great, where's the money? No, you got to make the money up yourself. What? Yes, I'm ordering you, Grace, to rent a car every single weekend from Friday to Sunday. You must do it. Oh, well, okay, Larry, you're going to order me. You're going to give me money, right? No. You got to find a way to do it. What? I don't want to do it. Then I will punish you because I'm the state and you're the county. I will punish you, Grace, if you don't do that. That is what happens in many states. So what does that mean? Well, that means that you now have to find an answer to fund half of Medicaid or Medicare. The state finds that to do half, and then that number moves and shifts. So yeah, I just keep punishing you. Keep renting a car, Grace. I'm not giving you money for it. Rent a car. And don't let me a car I don't like. We got a problem. I know it sounds dumb, but it's true. It's how it works. I'm looking at Alpha Dork over on Rumble, and he says, like the electric school bus mandate. Correct. You must get electric school buses. You going to pay for it? No. Tax your people then. Punish them. And then we wonder why so many local groups do things like, let's put in another camera so we can raise more money. Let's squeeze our local sheriff to do more tickets because we need more money. Any of those things, of course. Yes. John says, 5'3", nice guy. Yes, Fern is the only place for me, even when I was working on a farm during the summer. Could bench press twice my weight and had less than 4% body fat. You're a beast, brother. Less than 4% and bench press twice. I don't think I can bench press twice my weight. I mean, no, I don't think so. And I have decent body fat, but not 4%. All right, there. But wow, that's amazing. So yeah, look, you probably weren't bad boy enough or whatever they thought or whatever the thing was. So yeah, I know the friend zone. I am aware of the friend zone. And again, what happens when nice guys get into the friend zone? Constantly. One of two things happens. One, they turn into jerks, or they check out. And you are seeing, the last time I saw this, I didn't even know the number. Some YouTuber said that the number now is 10 million young men who've checked out. I remember when it was 7 and 8. I don't know if it's 10. Some YouTuber said so. So it may not be true. Who knows? But I know it was 8. So it might be. And women go, why can't I find a man? Well, because 10 million of them checked out. Of course you can't find a man. They want anything. They want out. They're checking out. They're done. And the huge chunk who are staying in is like, oh, I'm just gonna be bad boy, and I'm gonna sleep with other women because I'm a bad boy. I'm not gonna settle down. So you got a huge chunk of people who are just sleeping with whoever they can sleep with, and then and millions who are like, I'm done. I'm out. Of course you can't find a man. They're physically not there. Of course you can't. They're not there. You can't find. Of course you can't. So yes. So anyway. All right. Forrest Mommy says 220,000 fake Medicaid claims in Colorado. Wow. That's terrible. Yes. Carl says, how you conflate those three is inane. Is that inane or insane? So you calling me stupid or crazy, Carl? I'm not sure which one. The idea of me conflating them is what I said. They're all bad boys for different ways. They're all doing things that in the minds, and Shelley brought it up, which was the idea of us seeing it as protective males, which I didn't see it that way. But she did, obviously. And I think if she sees it that way, others did too. So yeah, not just that, they are clearly aggressive and assertive, all three of them. And they're bad boys, there's no doubt. And we are accepting as a culture, maybe not you, Carl, maybe you don't, but as a culture, we are accepting them as somehow okay or somehow excused because they are super popular or super masculine. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm off on this one. And I'm open to be off. So I'll take either insult, inane, or insane. But I still think the question's a valid one, Carl. If you have an answer, please put it in the chat. I will keep going down, see if I can grab it if you have an answer. Ryan, thank you for being a member. Larry, will today's Epstein Files fiasco cost Trump and GOP in popularity? This bread and circus show today was embarrassing. It will matter depending upon how well they take control of the media narrative. My gut says there'll be something crazy tomorrow that will make you forget about it. And the example I'll give you is when Trump got shot. By next week, everyone forgot he got shot. So they will have to immediately somehow take charge of the media and do something even crazier. They have to. If they don't, yes. If they do, no. That would be my answer. How good are they at controlling the narrative or the media next week? I think that's the answer. So So he says the gold card that costs millions is being sold to people with means to hide their past in their country of origin. Also true. Yes. Also true. They're doing it. But yes, I think you're right. Yes. Phil says the immigration process is entirely funded by the filing fees. Well, then why don't we use recruiting companies like I talked about? I'm with you. I'm with you. Yes. Matchman Hour says sounds like a Disney Fast Pass. I'm okay with that concept. But to Ross's point, let's have a much simpler system. If you want to pay more to get through this somehow, it's fine. If some cash will come in, I mean, how much cash is going to come in? I think 5 million is too cheap. I do think 10 at least, 15, 25, something. These guys that use this, they're buying apartments in Manhattan for $10 million. They could throw $25 million to get a fast track to citizenship or a fast track to green card. It's fine. I don't mind. If we use the cash, let's take it. Less taxation for us. I'm not mad at it. I know a lot of people are mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I just think it's too cheap. And I'm sorry. And it's just a Band-Aid. I also want a real solution and add this. This as a Band-Aid is garbage. It's not a good Band-Aid, right? To Shelly's point and to other people's points, it's not a good Band-Aid. But if you add it all together, it's fine. Garrett coming in strong again. Thank you. 5 memberships. Guys, remember the rules. If you're joining the Russian military or if you got $10 million, either those two, you cannot take one of these memberships. But if you don't have $10 million and you have not recently joined the Russian military, because you get the big bonus if you do, you may take one of these free memberships. Please enjoy, grab them. Go ahead. If you have $10 million, if you just got $10 million, don't take this membership. Instead, buy your own membership. You have $10 million. Are we clear on that? That's what I'm saying. Thank you again, Garrett. You come in when we need you. I appreciate it. Yes. All righty. Phil says art is one of the most popular ways to money launder. Correct. And most people, Phil, don't know that. Most don't. I was in the art world as a consultant for a while. I know, Larry. Larry, you've done everything. I have. That's correct. I have done everything. Correct. That's how I know all these things. Not because I'm that smart, because I've been through so much. Yes, 100%. All righty. Let's see. Grace says crazy rich Asians enroll their kids at Miami of Ohio at such a high rate. The loss is full of 100K Benz. Oh, the lot. Okay, yes. Is full of 100K Benz and Porsches. The girls hit on my jarhead husband. Had to cuss one out one time. That's very good. I like that, Grace. Yeah. Look, and they're making cash on it. Look, Americans can't make enough money to go to these places. So the wealthy kids come in and do it. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Mastermind now says they have climate control vaults at the Port Authority to hold paintings. Correct. Yes. That's absolutely true. Yes. Vivek says that was a good and in-depth answer. Thanks. There we go. Yes. 100%. Grace says, speaking of Tate, he just left Romania and arrived in Florida. His country needs another incel. He's not an incel. He's not an incel, Grace. He's not. He's insanely popular. He's not an incel. He got, I think he has a couple kids, doesn't he? He's not an incel. Yeah. So Mastermind Hour says, Elon literally doesn't count his trans kid. Is that true? God, I hope that's that sounds horrible. Sounds horrible. Your kids need you, regardless whether they're trans or not. Who cares if they're trans? Your kids need you either way. It doesn't change anything. So, yeah, that's terrible. I hope that's not true. My VA lady, virtual assistant service says, Larry travels New York more than the past 3 governors combined. Correct. That is an accurate statement. I keep traveling. The funny thing is, I've only run twice, but I keep traveling. That's how I know the state so much. Right? That's how I know the state so much. That's the entire piece. Yes. Andrew says, democracy is a contradiction of itself. Changed my mind. Democracy is a contradiction of itself. I don't really know what you mean by that. It's kind of a vague statement. Democracy says, if I get it right, whatever your format is, depending if you're saying, are you using democracy as a generic term that most people use it as, or actual democracy? If you're using it as a generic term, democracy means everything from republic to democracy to, parliamentary system, right? If you use it as a generic term, most people, when they say democracy, they use it generically to mean everything where people vote. That becomes democracy. If using it as a more direct term, that basically means majority rule. So it's hard for me to answer that question if you don't tell me which one of those you mean. If that makes any sense. It just seems too vague. If that makes sense. So anyway, let me keep going down here. Ryan says, some of these conservative influencers are the reason why I say that the one thing that I ever agreed with Tim Waltz is that they're weird as hell. That's actually pretty funny. I like that. You like that. Cheyenne says, not that anyone cares, but I didn't want a woman with kids, and I didn't want any baby mama drama. But if I were a billionaire, I'm with you. I'm with you. If you're a billionaire, maybe you don't care. I'm not a billionaire, but if I was, maybe I would have like, I don't care. And again, if you're a popular billionaire like Elon Musk, the women know what they're doing. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being forward. If the women are going after an Elon Musk, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're getting into. I'm just being forward. It's not like it's some guy who they didn't know or they fell in love with or whatever. No, they're actively chasing Elon Musk. They know exactly what they're getting themselves into. And I'm not mad at them for it. Again, not mad at them. Just saying, let's not act like they're victims. You get knocked up by Elon Musk, you're not a victim. You're not. That's just, stop that. You're not a victim. You might not be happy with the outcome because you don't get to talk to him, hang out with him because he got 3 other baby mamas. You got to talk to his family office. You might be unhappy with that, but you knew what you were getting yourself into. So yeah, I agree. If you're out there now looking for women, I get not wanting a woman with kids. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I understand someone not wanting it. I do. I get it. Right? You got to have your own preference, whatever you like. I get it. The problem though, Shine, is if you're looking for women now and you're looking for women who are older, if you're 25 and you're looking for 19, 20, 21-year-olds, you could probably easily find one without kids. Probably pretty simple. I would assume if you're that young. You're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Challenging. But again, to be forward, we are having less and less kids. So I guess as time keeps going on, you'll have an easier chance finding a woman without children. But generally speaking, a lot of women in their 30s, 40s are going to have kids. 50s are going to have kids. Now, if you get to a certain point where the women are 50s and 60s, odds are the kids are grown. So I wouldn't care at that point, right? If the kids are grown, out of the house, why would you care? I mean, gives you more. It might be a pain in the ass like during like Christmas and stuff. But look, if you're looking for an older woman, meaning 50s, 60s in that regard, what are you going to do, man? I mean, I guess you could find one. I'm just saying it's going to be challenging. Like I'm teasing the women saying I got 10 million men out of the market. Tough for you to find a man. Well, if you're a man, again, if you're looking for women who aren't in their early 20s, if you're looking for women who are older than that, then, and you say, no, I don't want women with kids. Okay, no worries. That's your preference. I'm not mad at you for that. But you are taking a lot of women out of the pool, right? You're making your chances harder, is all I'm saying. So yeah, I know a guy. I saw a video. He was talking about finding women and finding men online, and he was saying so many people who are older, as they get older, they try to have more rules as they get older, and he's like, "That's stupid." He thinks it's crazy. This is his view. You think what you want. This is his view. His view is as you get older, you'd have less rules because you have everyone you're talking to is older and they've been through stuff. So they all have more baggage. They have, whatever. They have, dogs, or they have kids, or they have baby mamas or baby daddies, or they've got these things, or debt or whatever, or the different religion than you, or they have a political thing that's different than you. And his view is that's dumb. Let it go. You're trying to find somebody and you're older. You're going to make it to where they're looking for a unicorn. So have less, not more. When you're 20, have all the rules in the world because you got time to find that person. When you're 50, what are you doing? That's his view. I'm not sure I buy that completely. I get the logic. It makes a lot of sense thinking about it, but I'm not sure. I haven't really thought through it to be very forward. I haven't really thought through it. I get the logic, right? It's a logical piece. But then again, maybe you say to yourself, if I can't get what I want, I'll be alone. Maybe do that. And again, if that's what you're looking for, totally fine. Right? Yes. Grace says Martha Stewart and Bill Gates have both talked about how they sacrificed their families for their self-made billions. Elon's no exception. And he's probably more on a spectrum than the other billionaires. Yes, Grace, all I'm saying is if you're going after Elon Musk, this is what you're doing. That's it. Yes. So anyway. All right, let's keep going. Mastermind says, nope, he says I'm wrong. Okay. Andrew Tate's idea of masculinity is anti-feminism. And I don't believe that's not true. That's inaccurate. To be forward. Andrew Tate is part of the either manosphere or red pill world. And the manosphere or red pill world has two sides to it. And you're missing one side, Mastermind. One side of that is anti-feminism, or even to a point, depending upon which ones you go to, even anti-woman, depends on where you are and which person you're talking to. That part's true. But there is a second part to it, which is actually a very good part. And I will defend this part 100% good. This one part, which is making yourself better. And you do not see that to the same level at all on the feminine side of this. It's nowhere near to that level. Now, the feminine side also is anti-male, as the male side has anti-females. That's true. Guilty as charged when it comes to the red pill or the manosphere and that. You're right, Mastermind. But there's a secondary side to this, which is get your money straight. Get yourself in the gym. Get physically smart. Get physically strong. Get smarter. Read books. There's that level of self-improvement that is part of red pill / manifest / Tate's world. That's the part that is very masculine, right? Defend, say what you feel, be strong, right? Say this part, again, I'm not denying the anti-feminism and, depending upon who you talk to, the anti-woman part of it. Accurate. I'm thinking it's the second piece, though, which is very masculine. It's very masculine. You're saying, Larry, it's women can't do this. No, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. This is a male thing. Get in the gym, get stronger, be physical, blah, blah, blah. That's how it works. You rarely ever see that in the feminine side. It's so rare to see it. You'll find a woman here or there, YouTuber, TikToker here or there, but they're 1 in 100. Almost every Tate type person, while yes, has anti-feminism, also has the, why are you being a knucklehead? Why aren't you being smart? Why aren't you reading a book? Why aren't you getting a better job? Why aren't you getting promoted? Why aren't you working harder? Why aren't you in the gym? Why aren't you eating right? Why aren't you sleeping right? What's wrong with you? There's a lot of that. That's very masculine. And that is what a lot of young men want to hear desperately. How do I know that? The Marine Corps. That's all it was. No excuses. No excuses. Get shit done. So I would disagree with you. There is a part of what you said is true. There's a second part I think you've missed. I'm assuming you're not really part of the red pill or manosphere area. I'm assuming. And the part that bothered me with Vivek, he was right. But many of these guys are self-proclaimed libertarians, which is why I get so much of their stuff in my feed. People send me red pill manosphere stuff all the time. I get it in my either Twitter, email. I get it. I get it all the time. That's how I see it, because many of them are self-identified libertarians. I'm not always happy that link is with them, which is why I didn't like when he said it, but he's right. Still right. So, yes. Shelly says, the richest guy in a rural county ended up with 5 baby mamas who only slept with him for high children support. He got a vasectomy, and the women stopped being attracted to him. That's a great story, Shelly. Oh, my God. What a great story. Wow. I love it. That's great. That's good. All right. Andrew says, yes, Sharpe Way US tour. I think he means go. Yes. He does means let's go. Yes. I'm considering it. I will see if I can do that. Yes. Exactly. Andrea says, that's why Jordan Peterson got popular, because he advises them how to be productive. Correct. Andrea, you are correct. Right? He tells them, do things. Jordan Peterson is popular not because he's a jerk. I mean, he can be a jerk, but that's not the reason why he's popular. That's people jerks. Because he tells, this is my point, Andrea, and you hit it perfectly. There is a reason why there is a space for them because we have taken that space. Our court system, our culture has removed the father from the family. We have feminized school systems. Young men are starving for some form of masculinity and take whatever they can get. And this is a mastermind's point. He says Andrew conflates misogyny with masculinity. And people will eat it up. He is a symptom. They want some form of masculinity. And here is my answer I'll give you. I'll tease you the same way I tease Democrats. Same way I tease them. They insult with no answer. All the time. Mastermind hour, you insult. What's your answer? What is your answer for young men who don't have a father in their life, who have a feminized world, who've been told that masculinity is garbage and you're bad, you're toxic? And I'm not being that guy. It's true. I've seen it. I have kids in school. It's how, and if you think it's not that way, you're just fooling yourself. It's absolutely that way. What's the answer? My answer is I'm a father in my kid's life. That's my answer, but that only helps my family. There are probably tens of millions of families in America who don't have that. What's our answer? We will find an answer. And we're seeing it. This whole show's about it. It's about people saying, I don't care if Elon Musk has 14 kids or whatever his kids and 4 baby daddies. I don't care. I don't care if Luigi literally is a murderer. I mean, again, alleged, be very allegedly. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if Andrew Tate did what they said. Now, if he did what he said, again, not convicted. If he did what he said, he's a trafficker. Assuming, again, allegedly, I don't want to get in trouble, allegedly. If that's true, they don't care. So you can call him what you want, mastermind. You can insult him all day long. It ain't working. What's your answer? I tell Democrats that. I'm asking you too. Yes. Joel says, in New York State, the reward of 25% of the baby daddy's gross is a pretty good payout. Do that 4 times, you get a full income for 21 years. Accurate. There have been people talking about it. They're like, the reason why they have multiple baby daddies is so they get a bigger chunk of each father. I'm not joking. That's literally a tactic that you can just Google online now. Women say that is a tactic. That's how they do it. They literally go, oh, so I knock up Joel. I get Joel to knock me up. And I get, depending upon where you are, some states, I think it's at 17%, I think, and then 2 gets you 25. So I get 17 and then like 25, and then like 32 or something like that. Like it goes up by percentages after the first one. But if you get 4, it's 17 of each. If you get 4 in one guy, it's 17, then plus like 7, plus like 5, or whatever the number is. So you might get like 32 of one, right? If I get 4 babies out of one guy. But if I get 1 out of 4 guys, well, it's 17 out of all 4. That's a whole lot more money. You're correct. And that's, again, I'm not making this up. That's a thing. You can Google it. That is a tactic that some women are choosing to use as that's their way out of having to work. Now, again, not everywhere, but it's happening. It is. So yeah, that's absolutely true. Yes. So, all righty. Phil says to Andrea, Jordan Peterson is probably one of the healthiest male influencers. You mean healthier for others or himself? I'm not sure. He's definitely not as aggressive as Tate, for sure. I think that's true. Yeah. Shelly says Marine dress blues are the best. Accurate. 100%. You cannot get a better uniform in America than that. That's absolutely true. Yes. Absolutely true. Yes. So Mastermind says, I got mine from a punk rock chick in Dublin. That's a good story too. Also good story. Yes. Also good story. Andrea says, funny story, my first day, I guess kindergarten, I came home and told my mom I didn't need to go to school anymore because I was going to marry a rich man. I like that. That's you were thinking right back then. I'm glad that she made me go because it didn't happen. Aw. Well, maybe it will. I don't know if you marry you. I probably made your husband angry. So yes, who knows? Grace says, funding baby boomers, and there are a lot of baby boomers. Gen X is a smaller generation. So the math voters. Ooh, there we go. Yes, there we go. There we go. So, all righty. Phil says, millennials are perpetual 20-year-olds, Millennials are in their 30s and 40s. Oh, is that why? I don't know. Okay, I guess that's true. Yeah. Kim says, if we dissolve the Federal Reserve System and install a banking system that benefits the people, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid will be just fine. Many of us work for us, not a private bank system. The problem is, yes, but, and here's the issue we have to work on with this, Kim. There actually isn't any actual money in Medicaid, Medicare. They tell you there is. There isn't. It's a mandate. So the money is there because it's promised, but it's not actually there. You go, well, no, it's there. Why? Because we've earmarked it. Yeah, but it doesn't exist. It means you have to fund it. It's called an unfunded mandate. That's what it's actually called. It's a thing. No, the money's there. Why? Well, because it's earmarked. Yeah, but it's not there. People today are paying people today. So you have to fix that part. So yes, but you have to also fix. Not yes, but's wrong. Yes, and. How about that, Kim? Yes, and. You have to also fix it. So it's both of those things. So yes. Thinking for Yourself says monogamy is overrated. Well, monogamy actually, for those you don't know, is a relatively new system. It is. It's a relatively new system. So hold on. Is my camera working here? Okay, there we go. It's a relatively new system. For most of humanity, most men did not procreate. Most women did. The vast majority of women did procreate. Most men didn't. So the vast majority of humanity, there was some form of harem system. And sadly, many women in American cities, it's not as true outside the cities. It's very true in the particularly big cities like New York, Boston, big cities. Many women are voluntarily creating a harem system. What do you mean, Larry? They're voluntarily sharing the top men. They're just doing it. Like they know that this guy in city A is a player, but he's wealthy and hot and athletic and all the things they want. And he'll take you to whatever, Dubai for the weekend or whatever is the cool thing. I don't know if that's that cool now, whatever I don't do that kind of thing. So whatever the cool place is, he'll take you there and you'd rather share him and you'd rather share the top guy or guys than be with an average guy. That's not as common outside cities, but it's very common in big cities. Austin, Miami, New York. You'll see a lot of women are sharing the same guys. Whatever, 200 guys who are like the hottest guys who have tall money and they just date whoever. And the women all know each other and just go, okay, because they'd rather have fun with him. So I think it's kind of happening in a way in cities. Will that happen outside of major cities? I don't know. I could see it. I could see it happening. But yeah, I do think that there's an issue. John says, a quote from Charlotte Troopers, it's funny how they want to be your friend after they rip your heart out. That's good. Rhetoric is out on Twitch. Thank you. There are Twitch people watching too. A big mistake people make is presuming any zone is static, be it the friend, lover, or any other zone. Things can always change. True, but it's a whole lot harder to go from the friend zone to the lover zone than the reverse. For many women, men too, I shouldn't just say that. I always think, you know what? I always think of friend zone as a man, but because it's me, right? So I was in the friend zone. So I think I'm obviously biased, but happens to women too. There's a lot of women who get caught in the friend zone because men are like, I'm not into you. It happens to women too. So I should do both sides. But it's a lot harder once a woman has that ick, whatever that ick is, and she's put you into the friend zone. It's hard to get out. But yes, it could change. It's just harder. And the hard part is there are a lot of men who think, well, if I just like her enough, eventually she'll put me in the lover zone. And usually it's not true. It does happen sometimes, but it's very rare. It usually isn't. So yes. Joel says, ask one of those single men. They say it's not worth risking losing half of my stuff. Totally accurate. The amount of men that I know who have said they will never get married, never, has doubled, tripled. I mean, just it's huge. Yes. So many men I mean are like, nope, we'll never get married. If she wants to be married, then find somebody else. I mean, they're like that forward, like never getting married. Never. They'll think the same thing. I'm going to go to court and lose all my shit. Like, nope, not worth it. Not worth it at all. I see it all the time. To go facts, thank you for $2. Men have too much to lose in marriage. The way, and then this is funny. There is a huge chunk of people who think that's all just made up. The courts are fair. It's not true. That's just misogynist, whatever. No, yes, it's misogynist. The data is so obvious. It's so obvious. Now, to be fair, the court system is changing. It is getting better. It is. And I think it's because there's so much pressure, because it's so obvious. There are men just going, what is wrong with you? And it is starting, and something else, the judges themselves getting divorced and they're getting hammered. And they're like, this sucks. This sucks. So yeah, I do think it is changing, but still a problem. Still a problem. I agree. And look, I think people should want to get married. But I'm not mad at them if they don't. I get it. I understand, right? I do understand it. But it's just sad. I wish we had a better system and a better environment to where people literally wanted to be married more. I wish they did, but you can see it already. And this is both men and women. More women want to be married, I think, than men do, generally speaking. But men want to be married too, or used to. Women used to. Now, not as much. It's very different. It's very different. So, all righty. Let's see here. Let me grab some more of these. Grace says, Kamala Harris is one of the nice guys, and it may have cost her the election because the bad boys were not going to vote for her to begin with. Ooh, interesting. That's interesting to look at. I like that, Grace. That's very insightful. I think it's part of that. You're right. No, to be forward, I'm going to be fair to Harris. She was not anti-male. She just ignored them. She didn't take care of this. She didn't talk to them at all. Trump went out of his way to talk to the unhappy, broken male. Out of his way. And to be forward, they showed up for him. They did. They showed up for him. He went out of his way to talk to him, and they showed up for him. So, yes, absolutely. So, all righty. Let's see here. Grace says, if you're an oligarch who happens to be watching, then please hit the like and subscribe button before you buy U.S. citizenship. Yes, it's free. Do it. In fact, if you're an oligarch, become a member, man. You got millions of dollars. What are you doing? You're an oligarch. Do the right thing. Come on. Do the right thing. Yes. Cage John says, today I saw a vid from the Mexican border, escalating a warlike bomb-dropping drones, cartels not backing down, no mention of the Mexican government's actions. Your thoughts? My assumption is that there is no way the cartels initially back down. No way. The cartels are very militarized, heavily militarized, like they are a paramilitary organization. So they are very much militarized. They would not immediately back down ever. And they would hope and assume that if they can resist enough, America will back off or stop or that kind of thing. So it depends upon how bad the Americans are going and what the Mexican government is going to say. From what I understand, Cage John, the Mexican government is okay with America doing this. That's what I remember reading last week, 2 weeks ago. I think last week. The Mexican government's like, yes, you can. If the Mexican government is okay with this, we're fine. If they're not, we have a problem. That's all I'm saying. So yes. Yeah, anyway. John says, Tate isn't an incel. The man is an admitted pimp. Yes. And he has suckered men out of $1,000 under the guise of being a woman. Yes. He's a BS artist. Correct. But it doesn't make him that masculine. He's not an incel, and he is masculine. They're all true. These multiple things are true. Yes. I'm not fighting on any of those things. Yes, yes, and yes, and still masculine. Yes. All of those things. Particularly when there is a dearth of masculinity in someone's life and they're searching for someone, then he becomes super masculine. Yes. So Adrian says, strong, smart women love strong, smart, protective men who have soft hearts, in my opinion. I like that. Now, the question is, do those types of men love those types of women? If so, we are rocking and rolling because now we're good. The problem that we always find is person A likes person B don't like person A. Person A likes person C, but person C likes person D. That's what we keep getting. So if it's together, now we're good. So yes. So Grace says, I heard he doesn't acknowledge his trans kid. That's terrible. She's a trans daughter. She doesn't think much of Elon. I could imagine. You're now giving your kid more problems. If your kid is trans, they're already going to deal with tough issues already. So now you're making it worse. That's crappy. That's crappy. That's probably his. Yeah, that's crappy. So yes, don't like it. We talking about Gene Hackman and his wife who passed. Yeah, that's got to be some kind of thing like, I don't know, poisoning or something, right? Because they all died, something like that. It's got to be something like that, some kind of poisoning, whether it was by mistake or on purpose. But I think it's got to be some kind of poisoning. I can't say anything else. Think for yourself. Says the now living Gene Hackman, and his wife says that's suspicious. Somebody poisoned him. Then I mean that's got to be poisoning in some way, whether that was like carbon monoxide poisoning or physical. Someone put something in their food or something. It's got to be poisoning. There's no other way. How does him and the wife and the dog all drop dead? It's poisoning. It's some type of poisoning. It's got to be that. So yes, yeah. Shelly goes, sorry about hearing about Gene Hackman's dog. I immediately thought, oh, George, not the livestock. Oh, yeah, that's good. Very good. Yes. Andrew says, I meant democracy as a system. As a system, the majority dictates policy, most often at the expense of the minority. Sorry for not clarifying. Yes, but that is literally what democracy is about, right? This is why we usually, if we're savvy, we put some type of guardrails on democracy, whether that's through a constitution, whether that's through rights that cannot be voted away, whether that's through a representative system of elites who are supposed to know better. I don't know if that one works, but we do that kind of thing. So I think that system actually is what it's supposed to do. I think we know that. I'm not sure why that. I think it does what it's supposed to do. And look, democracy isn't perfect by any means. I mean, even the people in the old days thought the best way was like a philosopher king type thing. They thought that was good. Benevolent dictator type thing, right? I get it. But if I have a choice between benevolent dictator or democracy, generally speaking, I'd rather have a democracy, generally speaking. But I think we have to have guardrails on it. I would agree. I think you have to have that for sure. So anyway. All righty. Let's see here. Grace says, my husband is wealthy and managed to hide it from me because he was active duty when we dated and married. I married him because I thought he was a broke ass Marine. Oh, I am so jealous. Your hubby got like the perfect, so good. I'm so jealous. So jealous. That's wonderful. Like every man wants that. Like every man wants to particularly if a man's wealthy, he wants to believe that his woman wants him for him, not for his money. And he got that. I'm so jealous of your husband. He's lucky. He's lucky. He's a lucky man. Lucky man. Yes. Greg says, you've done way more to look up to than Tate has ever done. Agreed. And I wish there were more fathers in people's lives. I am a father in both my children's lives, even though one's an adult now. I'm still a father in life. She lives with me. So yes. So I think we need more people doing that. Yes. I think more the better. I'm with you. I agree. Yes. So, all right. Tate is goofy. There are some parts of him that he can look very goofy. I agree. He can look very goofy. That's true. Yes. Yeah. Philip says, Tate looks like the sloth from Ice Age. That's funny. Hirsch Rio says, hello, Sharpe. How are you? Good seeing you. Yes. Mastermind says, getting health and educating yourself is a human goal. Okay. If that's a human goal, then go look at female content versus male content. And you will see at least minimum 10-1. Women saying things like, don't worry, you're perfect the way you are. Don't change anything. God has a plan for you. The universe is ready for you. When the time comes. All that stuff is the norm in female content. That is not male content. Male content is get your ass in the gym, eat right, eat better, go back to school, get a job, work harder. Literally yelling, you're a loser, you're an idiot, what's wrong with you? Get going. That's male content. Female content is not that. Female content is, don't worry, you're enough the way you are. If he doesn't find it, he's a jerk. He's an idiot. He doesn't see how powerful you are. You deserve better. You deserve more. I've watched both of these. I get sent all the time. Mastermind, it's just not the case. Will you find a woman who will do that? Yes, they exist. They're 1 in 50. I mean, it's so rare where the opposite side. Remember, this isn't a male issue or a female issue. Both males and females in America, across the world, but in America, are suffering. Right? I often talk about males because I'm a male and I feel it, right? But that's only because I feel it. I'm a male. But women are suffering here too. This isn't just men suffering. Women are suffering too. Both sides are suffering. But if you look at the content that comes out to support them, it's night and day. Night and day. So different. Garrett goes spot on, Larry. See, Garrett gets it. Garrett gets it. There we go. John says, that's what I did after my divorce. Hit the gym and dieted. Read Scott Horton's book. I focus on being a better version of myself. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. 100%. I think that's a common thing. That is a common thing. Yes. So, all righty. Phil says, what is a hidden gem in New York City beyond normal tourist traps, restaurant, art, museum, and parks? I say this often. I say it often, but it is so important if you can. If you have a time, usually during the spring or the fall, summer's okay too, but usually spring or fall, do a walking tour of Wall Street. I tell to anybody who will ask me, it is an amazing thing. Wall Street is the most southern part of Manhattan, and it's the oldest part of Manhattan, and it has the most history. So do a walking tour of Wall Street. You will get a walk around Wall Street. You'll see all the history. You have a nice conversation. You'll meet some cool people, most of them tourists. It'll be great. It's a great little thing to do if you are in New York City. Second thing, New York City actually has catacombs. Yes, there are some Catholic churches who has catacombs. This is also in Manhattan. So if you want to see some catacombs, you can actually get a tour that churches will take you through. And you can see some of the catacombs in New York City because it's old Catholic churches from like the 1700s. They're still in Manhattan. So you can get some of those also. So a couple of interesting things you can see. You get stories behind it, interesting stuff. It's a very interesting, piece of New York City that most people don't know. It was very interesting. So yeah, I hope that was good for you. So there we go. All righty. Masterman says team sports on that I can come up with. I'm not sure where that's from. But yes, men do love team sports. That's true. We do love that. And women tend to not like team sports as much. They tend to. Women like team sports too, but not as much. By percentage, not as much. So yeah. Grace says the elimination of the mask is what got Trump back in the White House. Yes. Kamala did not reach out to this lost generation of men. Had she quartered her vote, she may have won. Agreed. Yes, I completely agree. Harris, again, I did not see Harris as anti-male. I know some people said that. I don't think it's true. I don't want to give her any negativity she doesn't deserve. She has enough of it. She's not anti-male. She just ignored them. She didn't go on Rogan. She ignored them. And she could have. The men in our country, particularly young men, they are screaming for someone to pay attention to them. And Trump did, and she did not. Yes. Victor says, could a foreign adversary like China use the golden visa to infiltrate the U.S.? They're already doing it. Right? There are other types. The difference between a golden visa and other visas of its type is the golden visa is blatant. It just goes, give me the money, here it is. That's the thing. But right now, you can get an investment visa right now. So have enough money, invest, you're in. So we already have investment visas, investment citizenship. We have investment citizenship. We already have it in America. So they're already doing it. This is just more forward. This is the part that some people don't like because it feels bad. And I understand it. It does feel bad. They're right. The vibe is bad. It's true. But we already have it. They're already taking advantage of it. So they can already do it, Victor. And they are already doing it. It's already happening. Already doing it. So yes. All righty. John, thank you for being a member. Larry, Greg Gutfeld talked about this on his show last night with the same question. Oh, I didn't see it. And he pointed out that Hollywood is not coming to the rescue, but doubling down on toxic masculinity. Hollywood is destroying itself. And the reason is the same as I say about right now, the current Democratic Party. The current Democratic Party cannot stop shaming. It just can't stop going, but Trump is bad. They can't stop Orange Man bad. They can't stop. They have to have answers. And I have literally told Democrats, you've heard me say it on the show, your answer is go economically left. The far left is begging you to go there, has been begging you for at least 10 years, if not 20, begging you to go there. Go economic. Forget about the social left shit. Scratch that. The country doesn't want to hear that. The country is worried about paying its bills. It doesn't care about social left stuff. Doesn't care. I got to pay my bills. I don't care. And you can be mad at that. It's still true. It's just true. Accept that it's your political party. Go far left when it comes to economic issues, and at least you'll have an answer and people will hear you. They won't stop it. Same thing with Hollywood. Hollywood is destroying everything. Now, why would Disney keep doing destroying everything? Because Disney has licensing rights. With these insanely stupid intellectual property rights that we have, we should end immediately how bad they are. We got to fix them completely. So they're licensing everything. What do they care? They buy up stuff and license it. They don't care if it's garbage. You're going to pay for it anyway. Now, eventually it's going to stop eventually. But right now they just buy everything. And they don't care. It seems insane to them because they are doubling down. The stuff that Disney puts out, that Hollywood puts out, the writing is utter shit. It's just embarrassingly bad. Most of it's unwatchable. And here's the worst part. Because the writers are so terrible, and they are terrible, they can't even write new stuff. So they just take old stuff and wreck it. If you're talented, make something new. And if you go back to the 80s and 90s and 2000s, they were doing that, right? They were doing that. Well, Larry, they didn't have enough black people or gay people or whatever. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Will and Grace. And it wasn't that a great show? Right? Ellen was on TV for years. Right? Yes. All over the place. Nobody cared. They were happy. Right? Did we just talk about all the black shows? Tons of black shows. Great writing. We love those shows. You're totally right. They don't know any better, John. That's the problem. There's no other tool. The Democrats, it's not they're stupid. They're not stupid. If you think they're stupid, you're wrong. They're not stupid. They don't know what else to do. They don't have any of the tools. They didn't bother coming up with policies. I told you, and you guys laughed at me. I told you last year, most politicians don't have, not most, no politicians who are mainstream have policy teams. That's not a thing they do. They don't have policy teams. They have communication teams. So now they need policy. They don't have anybody do anything. Now, the Republicans had Project 2025. You laughed at it, but that was their policies. But that wasn't Republican Party. No candidate had that. That was a think tank. That was Heritage. So Heritage had that. Heritage said, we got one for you. Take this. And I told you what it was. Project 2025 was what conservative policies, and that they would pick pieces from Project 25. I told you that. That's why it works. They don't have their own policies. Now, who does have policies? I do. Because I'm libertarian, I'm third party, I have to. But yes, they don't know any better. That's the issue. Duke of Hex, thank you for $2. Thank you for the super chat. Women say they like X, but are turned on by Y. 100% accurate. And that's not just women, that's everybody. Most of us don't know what turns us on. Most people don't know. We don't get it. We think we want X, but Y gets us all hot and bothered. I think that's often true. That's often true. But women too. Yes, women will say, I want a nice guy, and then go after the bad boy in 5 seconds. But men do the same thing, to be forward. Men don't always know what they want either. So if you're savvy, you figure out what you want. And the problem is, when men figure out what they want, they just go after it. When women figure out what they want, they demand it. There's a big difference. You just demand it. I want this, demanded. You can demand all day long. Ain't gonna work. You have to go after it. Right? There's the biggest difference, and I'm going to bring this up, Duke of Hex. The biggest difference, if you have to put it overall, between female content for struggling women versus male content for struggling men, the biggest difference is in one word: deserve. That's the biggest difference. No male content creator who is I'm exaggerating. The vast majority of male content creators for men who are hurting go, you deserve better. They don't say that. They say you don't deserve a goddamn thing. You better work for it. That's what they say. The women, on the opposite, they say you deserve better, you deserve more, you deserve more. So if you just want more and demand more, it's going to magically happen. It's not. The men say, get your butt into the gym, get your butt working hard, blah, blah. Now, a lot of men aren't going to do that either. They're going to become incels and give up. And that's obvious. You see 10 million men are giving up. But the messaging is different. A lot of the men aren't doing it either, to be forward with you. I mean, I wish more of them would be doing it. A lot of them aren't. So, But yeah, I think your point's well taken. Super weapons $2. Thank you. Female empowerment is more group esoteric feelings. Accurate. That's true. More men are looking much more for the validation from one, usually older, male they respect, a father-like figure. Most men look for validation from that. And again, I'm being generic, but it's overall that's true. So one man, too busy young man, is looking for an older man that he respects to say, well done. He's looking for that one man to do so. And he must achieve something for that man to say, well done, because that man will also say, you screwed up. What's wrong with you? He will say that also. What are you, stupid? What's wrong with you? He will say that too. So he's looking for that one person to do it, whoever that person is that young man respects. And that could be an Andrew Tate type if he has nobody else, which is terrible, but it could be that, right? It could be Jordan Peterson type, right? It could be that too, of course. It could be whoever that person believes or respects would say, well done. Women tend to be much about the group agreeing, which is why you hear women say this phrase all the time, normalize. That's a phrase women will say all the time, normalize. Men don't say that. Men don't care about normalizing. That's not a thing for us. I want the one man that I respect to say, well done. That's what I want. I don't care about normalizing. I don't care if the rest of the world cares. I don't give a crap about the rest of the world. I want that guy who I respect to go, well done. That's what I want. Women want their group, their village to go, you're great, you're fine, you're okay. It's a different level. We both need validation. I mean, because we're humans. Humans need validation. So we need validation. It's a different style, though. So I think you're right. I think females are looking much more from a group validation. You're correct. So you find more women on TikTok, right? Because they want the group to validate. A man wants the man, whoever he decides, to say, well done. Women are much more about the group saying well done, or not even well done, normalized. So yes. Ryan, thank you for the $5. Speaking of team sports, I would love to go to MSG and Citi Field in New York and see a hockey and baseball game. I'll pass on the Capitol in DC. Yeah, MSG is great. Been there many times. Basketball and hockey. I think my daughter's there too. Citi Field too. But I got to tell you, you need to go to Yankee Stadium. Why? Because Yankee Stadium is an event in itself. Sadly, you're going to spend a lot of money doing Yankee Stadium. It is insanely, stupidly expensive, but it's still worth it. And I'm saying it as a blatantly biased Yankee fan. Just be clear, Ryan. I'm a blatantly biased Yankee fan. But yes, you should do that too. Yeah, if you're looking at team sports, I think you should go do a Yankee game also. I do think that's true. Yes. All righty. Grace says, is Mayor Adams now embracing his inner bad boy now that he's run with Trump? I think he's been trying to for a while. He's been trying to for a while. So, yeah. Mastermind says, to make it out of the friend zone, tequila is usually involved. Okay. Yes. However, that's often a one-time event. And I would hope if you want to be out of the friend zone, you would want it not just for the one-time event. I'm hoping you would at least, right? But I mean, maybe some people do. Again, not judging. Just saying. So, yes. All right. Let's see here. Joel says, the courts are fair, lol. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Adrian says, maybe there needs to be more community, not online, and people could find each other and not be isolated where they're looking. At one, and yes, I cannot say how correct that is. That is so correct, so important. So yes times 10. Yes, times 10. Absolutely true. We need to be doing this. Again, I go out and meet people, right? I go out and meet people. I want to meet people. I'm with you. Yes, and yes. John says, I know a couple that was together for decades. They're not married until they retired purely for legal, inheritance, medical visitation, decision making. That's actually smart. Yeah. That's actually smart. I like that. That is good. Phil says the Mexican Senate approved the Mexican president, or the Mexican Senate approved the Mexican president was not. Oh, that's why it's confusing. Thank you, Phil, for that. I need to do some homework on that one. I'm going to go check that out. I'm gonna go see how that, because I don't remember exactly the details of that. I'd forgotten. I just assumed that we weren't going to just be bombing without them. But you know what? Silly me. It might be. Yes. So, All righty. Alexa says, I heard that he wouldn't use the name she wanted. And she said that he was dead naming her. And so she got emancipated. I don't remember where I heard that. Though. Ooh, wow. Wow. Ryan says, did Elon say that his son was dead when asked about his trans daughter? Wow. Phil says he did. Jesus, that sounds horrible. She's still your daughter or son. I don't care. Whatever. She's still your kid. How about that? I don't care what you want to. I don't care what you want to call your kid. They are still your kid. Is that, I don't know, whatever phrase. It's your kid. Anyway, just seems bad. Mastermind says democracy was supposed to be the opposite of special interest groups. Oh, that's where you're going with it. Okay, I'm sorry. I was not getting it. Just was bouncing off my head. I get it. Yes. Makes sense. Yeah, you're right. This was the entire logic behind the ancients saying that democracy can't work, right? The ancients said democracy can't work. And the reason why they said it is they said that to make democracy work, you have to organize well, right? That's the concept. You have to get people together to vote the same way, blah, blah. And the concept was that the average person can't do it well, that you have to have wealth or power or status to organize well. And that's why democracy will always make sure that the wealthy or the high status person is the one that can move the special interests together to make things happen. That was the entire argument behind it, Mastermind. So it's a valid argument there. I hear that argument completely. So yeah, that was the entire argument behind saying democracy can't work. That it would by default fall to special interest groups, people who are wealthy or people who have status. So I do think that could happen. So yes. All righty. Mastermind goes on to say, sorry, my comments didn't lack the context of conversation at the time. No worries. And I'm grabbing this as best I can, guys. So it's going to be off a little bit. But look, if you're following me, you know, I will take any comment, even those who call me inane or insane or whatever that guy called me. Whatever. It's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. We'll just keep talking. It's all good. So yes. Shelley says, Hollywood is a group of people who all have to parrot each other or lose a career. I cannot respect that kind of sucking up, then touting your opinions as better than the masses. Correct. Yes. Correct. Yep. I think that's right on the money. Phil goes on to say, Jillian Michaels the other day talked about how there were skinny girls who would affirm fit at any size, but it was an easy way to eliminate competition. Different paragraph. Yes. And that's my point. You would never hear men say fit at any size or healthy. That's a total woman thing. No man goes, he's healthy at any size. Never going to happen. They go, he's fat. That's what men say to each other. Why are you so fat? So men say to each other. Lose some weight, you're fat. If you're a man, you know. If you got fat, your friends tell you that. Or you told your friend that. That's how it works. Women don't say that. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. Yeah, men don't say that. Men go, you ugly. You better get in the gym because you don't look good, dude. They'll say it to their face. Dude, you're not good looking. You better get in the gym. You better work out because you don't look good. They'll say it right to their face. They will tell you, dude, you better make some money. You're too fat. You better make money. They'll just say it right to their face. Women would never say that. Never. So that's my point, Phil. Exactly. They will say whatever it is. They will say however, whatever. They'll say it. They don't care. But they'll say it with love. Like this is the worst part. They still won't judge you. Like if you're an unattractive man, if you're an ugly guy, I'm not going to go, you're ugly and now I don't love you anymore. I'm like, dude, you ain't the best looking guy. You got to do something else. You better make some money. You better get in the gym, do something. I still love you. You're still my friend. But, you know, the other part is if you don't ask me, I won't say anything. Why? Because I don't care. If you ask me, hey, Larry, do I make enough money to get some chick because I want to be rich and I want to, get a model and I'm like, dude, you make enough money. I'll tell you the truth. Or I'll be like, yo, dude, you make tons of money. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. They're going to flock to you. I'll tell the truth, whatever I think. I mean, I could be wrong, obviously. I mean, I can't be wrong. Others could be wrong. I can't be. Theoretically, I could be wrong. So, yes. So, yeah. Anyway, I have yapped away in that piece. I will keep moving. So, yes. Super Weapon says, a great masculine book is Wild at Heart for understanding the male domain and what makes men men. I like that. Morgan, thank you for watching. Hey, you still there? Just got home. Glad I caught y'all. Yes, We are still here for a bit. We are, absolutely. Morgan goes on to say, I'm sure you brought up the concept of toxic masculinity during this. What was said? I'm sure someone will grab it, but that's the issue that I will bring up constantly. It's toxic masculinity. There's two parts to it. The exaggeration and the truth. The exaggeration has happened in most of our schooling, where anything masculine has been pushed as bad or not good and labeled as toxic when it isn't toxic. That's piece number one. And that's made many young men look for something else. Now, here's the problem with that. Now they go find something like an Andrew Tate piece, who can be very toxic and can have toxic masculinity without question. But since they're struggling and thirsty for any masculinity, they now adopt actual toxic masculinity when before they didn't have it. They had regular masculinity, which was labeled as toxic masculinity. So now they look for anything. They don't have any regular masculinity. They have toxic. I'll grab a gnat. I'll take whatever, right? Young men who are looking for something like that will take whatever. It's the same thing I say politically, which is if you're in trouble and someone puts their hand out and there's only one hand out, you're grabbing that hand. You don't care whether they're Republican, a Democrat, Libertarian. You don't care. You don't care if they're a fascist or a communist. You don't care. There's someone putting there. You don't get the toxic masculinity, toxic femininity. You don't care. You're in trouble. And someone's got their hand out. You take it. You take the help. Who wouldn't? So yes. Morgan goes on to say, I'll be there in Catskill tomorrow. See you then. Awesome, Morgan. Thank you, guys. See, more and more people are coming. Please, if you can make it, that will be amazing. I love that. That Liberty Lady says, it's going to be a long weekend without Larry Sharpe Fix. Have safe travels and hopefully a great turnout. I hope so. And if I can, I will do what I can when I can to actually post some either pictures, or if I can go live, I'll go live. So yes. John says, I think it's actually easier to go from the enemy zone to the lover zone than from the friend zone to the lover zone. I agree. Yes, because if you're a woman's enemy, there is still an emotional connection. I said this all the time in any relationship. It's going to sound weird, but in any relationship, if you're in a relationship and you're screaming and yelling at each other, you could still fix it because there's still a connection. If you're very lovey-dovey and very holding hands, and all, you can still fix it. When there's apathy, that's the end. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is apathy. Love and hate are related because you're connected, right? If I hate you, I'm connected. If I love you, I'm connected. It's not pathetic. I don't care. What happens to you, what happens. When your lover, in this case, if it's a romantic relationship, when your lover doesn't care anymore, you're finished. If your lover's still mad at you, well, then you still got something because your lover cares enough to be mad at you. If he or she is yelling at you, they care. They're like, I don't care, do whatever. You're finished. I agree with you, John. I think it's actually easier to go from an enemy to a lover than to go from a friend to a lover. I agree. Yes. Yep. So Mastermind says, I think having 4 baby mamas is evidence that Elon suffers from toxic masculinity. Or is it apathy? Or the same? Are they the same? I don't know. Are they the same? Or is he foolish because he doesn't care? Right? In other words, are you so wealthy, or do you feel like you are so powerful? Do you have so much hubris? Right? And I'm just talking, Mastermind. I could be off on this, right? Do you have so much hubris that you would be careless? What's the worst that happens? Maybe she loves me. Maybe she doesn't. Is that it? I could see all of those. Would you think toxic masculinity is that? Maybe. I don't know. So I slid a pun past Larry. No. I thought you actually meant it though. Oh, you didn't mean it? It was just a joke? Oh, then yeah, I blew it. I saw what you wrote, but I thought that, you know what? The Groucho thing, should have given it away. I did not see the Groucho thing. You're correct. This is my silliness. I should have done that. Yes. There we go. Mike's on board. He says, Elon's an opportunist. He can afford the baby mamas, so why not? Yes, but you don't want to have 90 baby mamas, right? And he could have 90 baby mamas, right? So yeah. Shelly says, Multiple baby mamas is a sign of insecurity, in my opinion. Ooh, interesting. Well, he was married. Did he decide to do it anymore? Maybe. Interesting. Interesting. Duke of Hex, thank you for the $5. Notice all these female teachers getting arrested for sex crimes. When I was in high school, this was a goal. Those who did got a high five. Now we're victims. Well, yeah. I will give you a story I tell sometimes people who I lost my V card to an older woman. I did also. I lost it to an older woman. I was 16. Let's just say she was over 20. How about that? I'll leave it there so I don't get somebody in trouble. I don't know the laws and stuff. I'll just say that. But yes, that was the whole thing. Yes, I was 16. She was north of 20. That's what I'll say. So yeah, and the next one, similar. Yeah, so women, I often dated women older than me. Very often I did. Very often. So anyway, yeah, it's well, this other thing, right? Why in the world would so many female teachers be sleeping with their kids? And some of them are young, 14, 15, 13. Why? Because they're desperate and they can't find men. I'm not making that up. They can't find men. These are desperate women. Now, that's why I'm not attacking teachers. This is not a teacher thing. This is a desperate woman thing, right? Desperate men do terrible things. Desperate people do desperate things. I say it all the time. If you're a 30-something-year-old teacher, 20-something-year-old teacher, and you sleep with a 15-year-old, you're desperate. Something's wrong. Again, I am not, to be clear, as I said before, I'm not excusing this behavior. I'm just explaining it. I'm not excusing it, right? But yeah, now they're doing it. So it is an odd thing, but it goes back to show women are in trouble too. Women are also suffering. This isn't just men suffering, right? This isn't just, yes. Mike says, why not 90? He is insecure as he doesn't care enough. Conquest, territory mark, move on. Look, two reasons why you don't want 90. Number one, you have that many, the amount of lawsuits is just crazy. You don't want that, right? Alexa says maybe he wants 90. He doesn't want 90. He does not want 90. I'm telling you, he does not, right? So you don't want that many lawsuits, number one. You also want that many people fighting you. And look, he still, you can see, does care about kids, right? He does care about kids. So he doesn't want to have so many kids that we can never see them. At one point, he wants to see that. So yes. Kim says, no, that's a pedophile. You're not wrong, but she's a desperate pedophile. But yes, again, look, and while I'll say, I'm not saying the person's not a pedophile. What I am saying is the person is desperate, though. What I mean by that, you're sleeping with your own kids. Pedophiles don't do that. They go find somebody else's kids, right? Okay, so PDF file. I don't want to say the word because now I'm in trouble. I'm gonna get canceled. You can get me canceled, Kim. But yes. So yeah. So yeah. So Mastermind says, when I was 16, I worked at a Mexican restaurant with a 36-year-old waitress, but I was in no way a victim. I do not consider myself a victim at all. I was not a victim at all. I was not unhappy about the situation in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, and let's just say it wasn't just once because I was not prepared to stop. So I was 16. 16-year-old boys, you know, they don't have to stop ever. Anyway, Super Weapons, go. Thank you for the $5. Wanted to mention the Agog. Is that how it's pronounced? I've seen it before, but I don't know how you pronounce it actually. Agog. In ancient Sparta, essential male improvement. A lot of your explanation here, Larry, highlight that practice. Yeah, right. To you want to be, and this is, if you look at not even ancient Sparta, you look at probably almost all of the cultures, religions, civilizations that have an image of male or an image of the man or an image of masculinity, right? If they have it it doesn't matter where it is, whether it's East Asia, Central Asia, Europe, Africa, doesn't matter. They tend to have similar things. The male is brave. The male is always working to get stronger. The male is, assertive, right? There are aspects of masculinity that cross all cultures and all civilizations. So yeah, I agree. Yes, I agree. So, any case. All right, hold on. Super says it's pronounced Akogi. Thank you. Akogi. Thank you. Akogi. Thank you. There we go. Now I know how to pronounce it. Akogi. Thank you. So, all right. Oh, Mike. Mike said too. Yeah. Oh, it's a go. Yeah. There we go. There we go. So now we know. There we go. I've now learned. You guys have taught me something. I appreciate that. So, yes. So Ryan says you see a lot of young teachers sleeping with students in small towns. Yeah, they probably can't find men they want to be with, so they feel desperate. Cheyenne says it's not desperation; it's manipulation. Manipulate. Are you guys trying to get me on these things now? Yeah. So yeah. In any case, I saw this one at least. So yes. In any case, it's not desperation; it's manipulation, or is it manipulation? Whichever one. I'm watching at least this time. So it can be more than one, right? It can be more than one. Cheyenne, I think it is. Yeah. As he says, Macron is 25 years younger than his wife, who was his teacher at 14, but she was married then. Yeah. Yeah. There's some issues going on there. So, yeah, there's some issues going on there for sure. So, guys, I want to ask you again, click the button known as like if you don't mind. Please do so. Please share and repost this if you haven't already. Please follow me on Facebook, X, and Rumble. If you would please do so, that'd be great. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do so. Select all notifications so you get notified. It does matter. Thank you for all the super chats. Of course, super chat me on YouTube, or you can rap me on Rumble. Membership on YouTube is important. If you can do so, please do so. You can also become a member on Rumble if you click subscribe during the live. That is the critical piece. If you can do so, that is great. So yes. Duke of Facts, thank you for $2. Just human nature for the benefit of the species. Yeah, I think that's true. Right? I think while obviously not all people fall into specific gender roles, clearly not all people do. The idea of having gender roles for people to copy is not a bad thing for the benefit of the species and or the group or the community, right? As long as we are tolerant of those who don't fall into those, we should be tolerant always, right? I'm a big person, a big group of being tolerant. But the idea, though, is we probably do. It's probably good, right? Because the concept of it, at least, is a division of labor, right? To make things better, groups doing things that make the most sense, right? Men doing more physical things because they're physically stronger, things like that. That's not a bad idea. Again, recognize that not everyone's going to fit into that, piece. It's not a bad thing, Noah. I tend to agree with you. I think you're probably right in that one, Duke. I think you're probably right. So, yes. In any case, guys, we'll say thank you so much for giving me a couple hours tonight. I'm going to be gone for the next 3 days. I will try my best, if I can, to go live from one of the events. You can see me up there yapping and getting yelled at, maybe, because I do get yelled at sometimes, but not as much as I used to, which is great. I got recognized today on the street, by the way. I did get recognized. I was out running some errands in Queens, and a guy recognized me from Joe Rogan, took a selfie. So that was nice. It's a positive sign that people still remember me from my years ago running. So that was nice. So someone does want me to show my schedule one more time. Let me do that real fast, just so you guys can see it. For those of you who do care, and I hope many of you care, particularly if you live in New York, here is where I'm going to be. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., Creekside American Restaurant in Catskill. Saturday, 9 a.m., Sherburne Diner in Sherburne. 1 p.m. Saturday, El Rancho in Watkins Glen. 5 p.m. Saturday, the Copper Keg in Cuba, New York, right? Sunday, 10 a.m., Chef Stanley's in Appalachian. And then 3 p.m., the Deluxe Diner in Middleton. So if you guys can be to any of those, please go ahead. As you know, I do cover the entire state. I do cover the entire state. I do care about everybody wherever they are in my state, and I'll be doing it every year. If you can show up, please show up. We'll hang out. Look, to be forward, I never know who I'm going to get. I go to some events. It's like me and two dudes, period. That's it. Nobody else, right? 3 people total. The whole 3 total. And I go, some it's 40 people. Some I get 40. So I get 40, I get 3. It is what it is. And if you get 3, then we have a nice intimate conversation. You get 40, you get a presentation like you see here. Whatever the case may be, it all works. But it doesn't matter. I'll be there, guys. I will see you all. I did not put this out, so I will ask you then, when this is done, please come back in and put in one female or male content creator that is for specifically for females or for males that you actually like. One that you like, either male or female, whichever you like, one of them you like, put them in the chat. I'll check them out and I will try my best, maybe while I'm in the car, to respond to them while I'm heading up state tomorrow. And I will see you all very soon.